too much. You know, you wouldn't think it's not like food that goes bad.
Sure.
What's the worst that can like gunpowder can't expire? What's the worst that could happen? Well, they had this rickety setup where they had like
hold on. OBS crashed.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
Oh, right in the middle of my great story.
Did you have a story?
I
Emma?
did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right, hold on. We're restarting now.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can just. You're probably live on YouTube now. So hello, YouTube.
Oh, really?
How are you?
On Facebook. I can still see it.
Probably live on
Probably
YouTube.
live.
No, not anymore.
No, there we go.
So, I'm just putting up a quick
Ooh, who's that?
thing here.
Sarah McLaughlin.
And we're back live on Facebook.
Woohoo!
And that was how. Just kidding.
Right.
Good grief, man.
Falling
So
apart.
hey, don't worry. We're getting fiber in like 20 some odd days.
That's right.
So
Just gotta
Can't
make it.
wait.
yeah.
Can't wait.
Before we
Awesome.
get to Zach, because we got to hear the end of Zach's story.
Gripping tale.
I want to hear Anna. Y'all guys don't have the 4th of July, obviously, in Portugal.
No.
But y'all have a holiday around fireworks.
Yeah, you know, Independence Day for Portugal too. It's in June. We also have
New
that.
Year's? Do you do a New Year's thing?
Yes,
Okay.
New Year's too. Actually, one of my stories. Am I jumping over yours?
No,
Maybe not.
please.
Okay.
Well.
So when I was in London, my friend, we knew there was, I think it was the end of the year or something, party. And in the UK, you can also buy fireworks. In Portugal, you can't buy them like that. You can't just go to the supermarket and buy them, which happens in the UK. And I was like, interesting. So my friend goes home at like crazy hours of the night. And then she just rings me. I was like, I just hopped off the bus. And there was these firework on the main street. This is in the city. Just somebody shoot out a firework in the middle of the road. Just like that.
In
In
Portugal?
London.
Oh,
In
in
London.
London.
Middle
oh,
of the
wow.
day?
Yeah,
Wow.
night.
Oh, okay.
Like 3 a.m. or
Well,
something.
that doesn't make it okay. But
And
yeah,
it
wow.
was- How did that not kill someone? It's surprising. Apparently it didn't, but still crazy.
Yeah, that's
so.
insane.
I do like to think of fireworks as a very American thing because they're so stupid. Like, why would you give children the ability to fire things at each other?
Yeah.
But no, it's a universal love. Everybody loves it.
So I think we cut off right before you
My
said
story.
right before you said that your firework had
Yes,
expired.
expired fireworks. We had one of those box fireworks. It's like a cube, and you set it down, you light one bit, and like a bunch of barrels shoot out of it. Right? It's not like one mortar. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. And so it was one of those, and this thing goes off, and you know, we're all standing 10 feet away. It's not a big deal. And rather than shoot straight up, like the giant rocket at the end of Jackass 2, it shoots one straight out the side, like fires it off the side of the table onto the ground, and then it starts a roll and starts going off. So it's rolling across the yard, firing everywhere, just in every direction. Everybody runs for cover. Like I dive behind a tree, you know, like because I mean you're literally shooting rockets around the yard at this point. And it was New Year's, so it's particularly dry out. So the dust settles, and we look around, and there's these spots in the yard that are just on fire. And so we run over and we're stamping them out, and then we look over the neighbor's yard, and they've got some on fire, gone over the fence. So two of the brothers hop the fence. They're stomping out things. I'm about to hop the fence. I look back, and like two houses down, behind the house over one, this guy's garage fully ablaze. Completely on fire. Like a garage, like a 2-car garage, just completely up. Because it was covered in pine needles, and one of these rockets somehow had like threaded the needle and made it over there. So I got my friend's attention. He realized what's going on. We run over, try to get over the fence. I weighed like 50 more pounds than I do now. Broke the fence trying to get over it, so that was a good time. Sprained my ankle. He gets over there. Neighbors are coming running over now. Like, oh my God, this guy's garage is on fire. The dude was out of town. He wasn't even there. So like somebody calls the fire department, of course, as they should. Fire department shows up, blows the whole thing out. And then I hopped on my bike and rode home and never found out what happened after that.
Good. Good.
Yeah,
I'm glad that's how that story
It wasn't
ended.
my house, and it was fine. I didn't even light the firework. I didn't even buy the firework. I was an innocent bystander.
You don't even know if a rocket did that. It could have been a
See,
completely
that's the
unrelated
thing.
fire.
I'm telling you, it was far away. I still have no proof that it was us. Like I really don't. I just think so. That was. Yeah, burning down neighbor's garage was a good time.
No proof it was us, other than the 13 fires y'all put out that y'all caused that night.
Yeah, well,
there wasn't anyone like smoking a cigarette over there and threw it on there.
Yeah.
That would have been hilarious.
This is the perfect cover for me to light this guy's garage on fire.
Oh, that is a.
It's a story. Yeah.
I'm glad you took no responsibility in the end.
Oh yeah,
I'm glad you
didn't even have to fix the fence.
There you go. Take a quick break. When we come back, we have Sarah Strackhouse and the news.
Singing today. Nah, I'm just kidding. The club isn't the best place to find lovers, so the bar is where I go. Me and my friends at the table, doing shots, drinking faster, and then we talk slow. Come over and start up a conversation with just me, and trust me, I'll give it a chance. Now take my hand, stop, put the man on the jukebox, and then we start to dance. Now I'm singing like, girl, you know I want your love. Your love was handmade for somebody like me. Come on, now follow my lead. I may be crazy, don't mind me. Say, boy, let's not talk too much. Grab on my waist and put that body on me. Come on, now follow my lead. Come on, now follow my lead. I'm in love with the shape of you. We push and pull like a magnet do. Although my heart is falling too, I'm in love with your body.
Well done, Zach. That was a leftover from Friday's episode when we played a song from our current president, Donald Trump.
Wrecking Ball.
Wrecking Ball. And he wanted to point out, this is not a, we are a...
bipartisan.
Bipartisan here.
That's right.
We have both. And so we were able to play...
We're in the middle.
We're in the middle. Somewhere in there is where we are.
We got the left, we got the right. We're even. We're great.
So we have Sarah Strackhouse in with the news.
Oh.
There
Excuse
it is.
me. There
We got it. Sarah Strackhouse in with the news.
Also trying to stay bipartisan. Yep. So top headlines, immigration still topping the list again. I feel like I have said that now how many days in a row?
It's a hot topic.
It is a hot topic, yeah. Well, more specifically, U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, of course. Fox News reports many high-profile Democrats are calling for the abolishment of the government organization. It was created about 15 years ago, but other Democrats aren't so sure that's exactly the right road to take. Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar said that this weekend, in a quote, "We are always going to need immigration enforcement." And then she went on to say that we are a major country with major borders, so to me, the issue is what are those policies? President Trump, of course, had something to say about it. He weighed in and said that they're the ones who get rid of MS-13 and, quote, "You get rid of ICE, you're going to have a country that you're going to be afraid to walk out of your house." It's unknown right now if ICE is going to be a major talking point for the next election coming up in November. So.
I have a hot take on this.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, here it is.
Oh, no.
I think, so I read an article a while back that said the thing that Donald Trump does the best is he states his goal to be way, way, way over here in hopes that when you meet somewhere in the middle of that, it's still what he wanted all along.
Right, you're nudging the Overton window.
Yeah, and so, which is a more educated way of saying that.
Yeah.
And so,
I like that.
It's fine.
And then when you go, so they're saying abolish, the immigration, so that when you meet somewhere under reform, everyone's happy because it didn't get abolished. We reformed it. I think that's what they're trying to do with the abolishment. I don't think anyone could look at what we have right now and say, hey, we shouldn't have immigration or border control. Every country has that. So you shouldn't abolish it. Reform, sure.
I don't imagine there are many lawmakers. I'm sure there are plenty of people at these protests who might feel that way, but I don't know that any lawmakers that are actually feel that. Maybe, but I doubt it.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Next,
moving on. Talking about President Trump's longtime personal attorney, Michael Cohen. In an interview published this morning with ABC, Michael Cohen said his loyalty is first and foremost to his family and country, which I respect, I think. I think we can all kind of get on board with that. Mm-hmm. Well, in the past, he said that he would take a bullet for Trump, but CNN reports he's recently disagreed with the president on some key topics, like those, quote, who demonize the FBI and claims that the Russians did not interfere with the 2016 election. It's unclear if Cohen will take a deal if he's asked to testify against Trump, but people are thinking after this interview there might be more of a chance that he might.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, you'd think for a guy who's a lawyer, he'd be a lot more clear about what is first and foremost. Because when you say first and foremost and followed by two things, my family and my country. Well, it's got to be one, right? Like first and foremost, you can only have one favorite, Mr. Cohen. That's all. That's all I got.
Family, I think he said, was at the top.
Right. Yeah. He was like wife, kids, country, like in that order specifically. Yeah. So, but I don't know. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, our third story from Jeff Crilley's Rundown, following up on the shooting in Maryland last week. Despite Maryland's notoriously strict gun laws, 5 people were still massacred in that shooting at the Capitol Gazette last Thursday. The Baltimore Sun reports the, quote, long guns, such as something like a rifle or a shotgun, are not as tightly regulated as handguns, but do still require a criminal background check to legally buy from a dealer. Well, Jared Ramos, the shooter, received that background check, and he was cleared even though he had been convicted of harassing a woman in 2011. Harassment isn't among the misdemeanors that prohibit gun ownership, so a new law was passed in Maryland that becomes effective in October, allowing judges to seize guns from a person deemed a danger to themselves or others. Still, people want stricter gun rules there.
I think harassment could fall in the lines. It's one of those deals that you want to go maybe case by case.
Yeah.
But I think if you harass someone, maybe you shouldn't be able to have a gun.
Seems reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read the interview with the woman who he harassed, and she wanted to keep her her name out of it, but apparently it got pretty aggressive, and it was all via email, all online. But she got so worried to the point where she got a restraining order and moved.
Show me a man who builds walls, and I'll show you a man who builds ladders. Next.
Oh boy,
jeez.
Okay.
You made Sarah feel uncomfortable.
Just let that let that simmer. Yeah.
So, moving on to our kicker. So after opting out of his contract with the Cleveland Cavaliers Friday, LeBron James signed a $154 million contract with the LA Lakers, his third move in the past 8 years. Just let that sink in for a second.
I hope he still doesn't win. I know he's a Cowboy fan. He's just trying to get another ring because he's trying to match Jordan and the whole thing. And as good as he is, and he's phenomenal. He is a phenomenal basketball player. I just don't like him.
Yeah.
He, the cockiness and arrogance he has dwindled down some, but you still have that taste in the back of your mouth of him calling himself King James.
Twitter loves him. Man.
Well, of course, he is the guy. Like, they love the Kardashians too.
Yeah,
it's the same thing. Like,
that's a good point.
Yeah, because you love someone doesn't make them good people.
Right. I think he seems like a good person, but I do think that there's a hangover from that the decision when he first left Cleveland and went to Miami, and a lot of people were like, "Boy, you're really tooting your own horn here and making a big deal about what team when people change teams all the time." So,
I'm taking my talents to South Beach.
Yeah. Right. I think there's a lot of people that probably still hang on to that. Yeah. And this was no different. I mean, it wasn't quite the circus, but it was still like this big deal about whether or not LeBron is going anywhere else.
Yeah. Whereas, Jordan, he had that weird stint where he played baseball for a while. But other than that, he played for the Bulls, dominated. Really, he only had Pippen as like a good, well known in the basketball realm, support for him. Outside of that, it was those two. They had other good players as well. I don't want to get any Bulls fans riled up. I don't know a whole lot about basketball.
Got a lot of them out there.
Yeah, but for him, it's just that there's no comparison in class. In ability, they're probably side by side. But Jordan, class-wise, you can't top him.
I don't think so.
So we'll take a quick break. When we come back, we have Jimmy John's delivery guy spoils someone's rendezvous when he ordered a sandwich online. That and more coming up next.
We have a yo-yo champion on Hometown this morning.
That's right. Kay Strass, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. How are you?
Good. And you go around to schools with yo-yos and show demonstrations, and you have a goal behind all this.
Yo-yo master Katie Strasser has an idea. He's visiting Madison schools this week, teaching kids about being green.
The kids, I'll get into the room, and the kids will be running around, and they'll be all excited. And so I tried to start things off on their level and try to hook them with something like a rap. First thing, one of the things that we do is teach the kids about how recycling works. You know, I go around, I've been teaching kids about the environment. Actually, I've only been in one school so far, and I'll be honest, it didn't go so hot. Hey, they're up in the sky. It's the Kay Strauss, the yo-yo guy. And then I do the yo-yo-yo, you know, and I get them going and I get them into it. This is the simple up and down, and when I'm with students, what I say is, you know, life has a lot of ups and downs. And
it certainly does.
All right, 10-4 guys, let's roll. So you get that one going. Oops. And
Oh, you're right.
yeah. Okay, let's see.
He told me it gets a little wild and crazy, so I'm just going to
It gets
step
a
out of
little
the
wild
shot.
and
You go
woolly.
ahead and take it away.
When you get the kids their yo-yos, and
Yep.
they start doing, it's probably my dad, I'm not even gonna get. They start yo-yoing.
Don't hurt yourself. Oh.
You know what? Do you have a clip?
A clip? Huh?
And you're like this, you know. All right, everybody, let's take it down to the ground and we'll get into a Huey. And we get going. Oops. What should I do? I am just a 35-year-old kid at heart, you know, twice divorced. I have no kids. I don't have a girlfriend, don't want one. This saved my life. I was literally in the gutter. I think there's something to be said about how kids are brought up these days. And I come from a home that believed in spanking.
You lost a friend just recently.
Could we just take a second of silence?
If you want to, sure.
It was a jet ski accident.
Ooh, okay.
That went dark pretty
My
quickly.
God.
I love him so much because he knows it's a shtick.
Right.
This guy. That's his thing. The thing is, like, I want to say I've seen him before on like TV, but man,
he is like an actor. He's done some stuff on television since, but yeah, I don't know if this is where he got his start or if he was doing comedy or something. But I love his bit.
Just genius.
Yep.
Just tricking local news stations into putting him on as a yo-yo genius.
Yep. And then just having the most awkward things possible happen.
I love
Yo-yo
this part.
falls off. That phone going off. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes, I don't know what to do.
You guys have a clip? Can I borrow? I love it.
So the Jimmy John story,
Yes.
And again, if you're trying to follow us on Facebook, I apologize. The feed is jumping around a little bit, but you can always catch this later on YouTube or Facebook. We'll post the full audio and video there later on.
We might hang on to some of these videos and rerun them later.
Yeah. So Jimmy John's has a delivery guy go out, and because his girlfriend, this guy's girlfriend, calls and says, "Hey, my boyfriend's at his house. I want to surprise him and do something nice." So she calls in, orders him his favorite sandwich. Jimmy John guy goes, "Hey, no problem. I'll deliver it to his house." Walks over there. And then, surprisingly enough, catches the guy in the act of having an affair, or cheating, I guess, not having an affair, cheating on his girlfriend. So you would imagine if you're Jimmy John's guy, came to the door and you're like with some girl and, "Hey, your girlfriend wanted to give you a sandwich," you'd feel pretty bad in that moment. Like you're in the act of cheating.
You think he told the guy?
I don't think he told the guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he said anything. He was like, "Hey man, here's your sandwich," and like peaced out, because he said, "I saw both of them nude." So I don't know if like the window was open or how that how.
Yeah, I think
happened.
he said he could see through there's like a window in the door or something like that.
So he made just a fast gig, like, "Hey, I'm out."
Yeah, he just dropped the sandwich. And
So,
left.
but then here's the surprising part. He calls the girlfriend and goes, "Hey, normally I don't do this, but I just saw the guy that delivered the sandwich to and some other girl participating in activities you may not be so so fond of, and he just wanted to give you a heads up," and hung up. Is this Jimmy John's delivery guy a hero or a villain?
Right, hero or hate crime?
That is the question.
In the universal scheme of like fate, destiny, and karma, if any are such a thing, good guy. I think he did the right thing. Should Jimmy John's fire him? Maybe.
Oh, you really think so?
No, Jimmy John's reported back. I was like, "Oh yeah, this is a true story." Yeah.
All right. I figured they'd either be like, "You're out," like you can't represent, like that's gonna make headlines. Our name is on that. Like
I think they straight up offered to cater the breakup party.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is the smart move by them. So good for them. I don't know. I guess it's a good thing. Who wants to make a case against this? Josh, you look like you're chomping at the bit.
So here's the only reason why I say you
Bro
should.
code.
Yeah, bro. Come on,
code.
son.
Yeah.
It's one of those deals that you have to be able to like separate yourself. As my job is to deliver sandwiches. My job is not to be the moral compass for anyone, right? And so at that point in time, I'm overstating my bounds.
Big time.
Big time.
Yeah.
And I'm causing a lot of trouble for a lot of people that I don't need to be involved with. So if I have to defend or say I'm against the Jimmy John's guy, it's by the whole purpose of that's not your job. Stick to your lane.
Yep.
Right.
Your lane is to deliver sandwiches super freaky fast or whatever it is. That's your job. Your job isn't to call the girlfriend and be like, "Hey, sorry."
Well, like Zach said, I mean, in this situation, it ultimately Jimmy John's was like, "Yes, that's we're all about that. We'll cater your breakup party," but it could have gone poorly.
Yeah,
she could have been very upset that he did this, and the guy could have been upset. Like I don't know what the boyfriend did, but it's one of those things where this delivery driver took a chance, and it ultimately I think probably worked out for most parties involved. But it very could have easily not landed in that way.
Worst case scenario for this driver is if he wrote down the address wrong.
Right.
Then,
Oh my god.
Yeah.
No. But hang on a minute. On the article, it said that the girlfriend was on the phone with the guy, and she was trying to match her boyfriend's kind of like, does he have these kind of hair? Like, describe him to me. So she did try to figure out if this was true or not.
To make sure.
Exactly. Like, it wasn't that he just, just like, oh, he was with the girl and hang up. So I legit support this dude, and I wish there were more people like him. I honestly believe that.
Right. I don't mean to wax existential, but like in the big realm of like nature and how things work, right? Like in a way, if this guy's doing the wrong thing to another person, which is harming them emotionally by carrying on a relationship that is not valid, isn't this in some small way the universe righting itself a little bit? Like if it wasn't this way, it would have happened some other way, right?
Sure,
like,
yeah.
This guy's running around nude in the middle of the day in front of God and man and every Jimmy John's driver to see with his significant extra other. Like, at some point, he was going to get busted,
Sure.
I think.
Yeah. Whether
it's a Jimmy John's driver or like a misplaced text or what.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I have no love for people who have affairs and who cheat.
Of course not.
And I don't think I would have said anything.
Right.
I would have gone back to the Jimmy John's place and been like, man.
Yeah. I might have gone in the middle, go for some kind of like vigilante justice.
Like key his car.
No. Call the number back from like another number a couple days later or something. I don't know. Like if there's some way you could be like, hey, listen, something's going on and I don't want to, So like anonymous tip kind of situation, if there's a way to do that. That way you protect yourself from any kind of identity, and in a way you've done your good deed, I guess. I don't know.
I'm happy it worked out. I would not have done the same thing. Although I do hate people who cheat. It's one of like I think there's no excuse for it. Like at least break up if you want to have side action, have something that's a separate issue.
Sure.
I just think he in that moment overstepped his role. Because again,
I agree. If I was him, I'd feel guilty. I would just feel bad about it that I didn't do anything. Like I don't know. It's like being a good Samaritan or something. Matt, what do you think?
No, I think I think I ultimately agree. But like I said, it's one of those things where if it was a neighbor or something like that,
sure.
Obviously that would make a lot of sense. I'm just thinking like. Kind of like Josh said, from the delivery driver's standpoint, if I'm worried about, well, gosh, I don't know if my manager is going to like me digging into people's personal lives like this or, something like that. Again, it's not a crime that's being committed here. So, whereas, if he walked in and they were holding someone hostage or it was like a child abuse situation or something like that, then I would just think, well, you probably have a need to go to the police in that situation. But here it's like this is kind of a gray area. I don't know how the girl's going to take it. I don't know how the guy's going to take it. I don't know how my manager's going to take it. I don't know. I don't know if I would have made that call or not. But ultimately, I think it was probably the right thing to do. It's just questionable about whether or not you keep your job after that.
We have one more topic I want to talk about before we end the show. We're going to end a little early today, so we're not going to take a break unless we have to because of a cool video to show.
I mean, we always have cool videos, but we're fine.
Yeah. So we teased this in the phenomenal description about the turkey.
Yes.
And what is this story about, Matt?
There is a guy who a turkey has been I guess taking up residence in this gentleman's yard for whatever reason. He claims that he's not feeding them or giving them any sort of aid or comfort in any way, but this turkey just keeps showing up, and people around his house are upset, and he has now been fined $100 because the turkey just will not go away.
So if he shoots the turkey, is that okay?
Well, see, he's taking action. This happened starting in April. He got a hold of, because it's been happening for like 6 months out in Detroit. Starting in April, he got a hold of the sheriff's office, who's been working with him to try to figure out how to get this turkey to not be in his yard, because he had complaints or something. So he's already been trying to do the right thing. And then the homeowners association comes along and they're like, hey, $100 fine for the turkey in your backyard.
Yeah.
Which doesn't even live there. It just comes by during the day. Like it's a stop on its way to wherever it's doing its turkey things.
Yeah, this guy Mark Johnson says he hasn't got out of his way to make the turkey comfortable. It will jump over the fence and then disappear for a while before coming back. And it was recently ticketed as keeping the turkey as a pet.
To make sure we have all the facts of the case on the table, I should say that the Homeowners Association believed in a statement that if he was to trim the grass and keep the yard a little bit less like overgrown, like they claim it is, the turkey would not be hanging out there.
So that's all this is about, really.
And it does look pretty damning when you drive by a fence and you see a turkey inside the fence. You're like, you're obviously caging this turkey to be there.
I mean, it can appear that way.
Because I've never seen a turkey fly.
Right.
I guess they're like with chickens, they can just like
probably get up a little
hop
ways,
high.
right? Yeah, a good up and a flap, right? Like just he'd probably get over a fence, maybe. I don't know.
Hop and a fly.
Yeah.
It just seems like I would if this were East Texas. I know how they would solve this. And it'd just be, hey, guys, grab your shotguns. And it's done.
Yeah. Hey,
a little double barrel justice.
Who's hungry? That would be the answer. What frustrated me about this story, the homeowners association bit. I struggle with homeowners associations. It's tough because it's like, man, you're just trying to get along in the world. It's not your fault the turkey's lounging in your backyard. Yeah. You're at work. You're 9 to 5. Like,
we all have our turkeys to deal with.
Yeah. Like,
some of them are literal
turkeys. You gonna
turkeys.
come along and hit me with a fine now? Yeah. Like, because of a bird in my yard? So that's a whole thing. What do you
Homeowners associations, for me, it just seems like another form of like a union. Like, it's a bunch of people who, for the most part,
sure.
I'm going to generalize for the sake of generalizing, but not specifically. Have nothing better to do but like to patrol your little neighborhood, and they have this whole mentality of like they're like the cops or whatever it is. I hate that mindset of if your house isn't up to my standard, or the 7 parents who run the homeowners association because they all have wine club on Thursday night. If it's not up to their standard, then you have to change and adapt to their rules. It bugs me.
Right. If a homeowners association, and I get why they're important, like obviously there needs to be some kind of standard of quality across the neighborhood. You want real estate values to be good. Everybody benefits. But if a homeowners association...
It's right after the show on last Friday. And so some of you may have seen this already, but this is a gentleman who climbed up onto a sign in L.A. and in his underwear and didn't want to get down, and this is how he makes his dismount. And then, of course, he's immediately arrested.
You can see the firemen beating the hell out of him down there.
That is a pretty dope backflip.
I heard somewhere, and I don't know if this is true, I heard that guy is an aspiring rapper trying to kickstart his rap career. And that's what that was.
Aren't they all?
It was a big stunt to try to get attention, and of course it's in L.A.
Worked.
What punk, I guess? Yeah.
Well, what do we know his rap name or
no?
Well, that's
so did it really work? Like at the end of the day,
like written on him,
yeah, somewhere,
on his underwear, where he,
because he's a heavier set guy. So to be out in L.A. on a billboard with your boxers on, that's a bold move.
It's a decent backflip.
Yeah. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do a backflip like that.
I'd be so if I was sitting in traffic on the turnpike for like a half hour, like just trying to get home at the end of a Friday or whatever, and like I come around the corner and I see some guy with no shirt on backflipping into an air mattress, I'd be so irate.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh man. Just like, oh.
Yeah, the cops aren't there for him. They're there to keep the passengers away from him.
Right.
They're for his actual safety.
Yeah.
There you go. That is our lunch break show. We will be taking off the 4th of July. Hope you have fun with your family and friends, having hot dogs, frankfurters, and hamburgers. This is Josh, Zach, Matt, and Anna signing off. See you guys on Friday.